So I grew up, the time in wrestling that's most prominent in my brain is like, the mid 2000s. So a big star in women's wrestling for me would be Ashley Massaro. And I grew up, fancing her quite a bit. Funny enough, I was dating a girl a few years ago, and her cousin actually went to school with Ashley's daughter. Ashley lives around where I live, and I was hanging out with my girlfriend. Her cousin was over, and she was like, "Hey, would you mind guys giving me a ride to go hang out with my friend?" And I had no idea. And we're in the car, and she's talking about her mom was a wrestler, and she said, I'm like, what's her name? I probably know her. Like, sometimes when you're a wrestling fan, you keep it on the down low, but I'll tell everybody I'm a wrestling fan because it's the only thing I like talking about. And basically she was like, oh, blah, blah, and Ashley Massaro, she was in 2007, all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, not only was she one of my favorites, I didn't know she lived close to me, and I didn't know that I'm on the way to her house right now. So I asked my girlfriend's cousin, I said, is there any way to not be weird about this? For us to like walk you to the door or whatever, and maybe I get a little FaceTime and say hi and tell her I'm a big fan of her work. And I went to the door and she was there, and it was kind of surreal and strange and very awkward for me. And at the time I was thinking about foraying into wrestling. I told her that just because I didn't know what else to talk about, and she told me, hey, if you ever get a match locally around here, because, your friend's daughter, the connection, I'll be your valet. I don't know if she was joking. I'm sure she was just sort of being tongue-in-cheek. She was so sweet. When I found out that she had passed away, I think it was only like a year or so later, it really broke my heart. And her last tweet was like sending out messages to people, like her fan mail, replying to fan mail. And, she really loved her fans. She was very generous to people as far as I'm concerned, and she'll be missed, and that's my wrestling story.
Yeah, she will be missed. I had a couple of interactions with her. Very nice girl. I think she had a troubled past, but I chose this story because I love wrestlers out in the wild. And it's fun because I am a pro wrestler, but I always think of it in the aspect of me before I got into wrestling, wrestlers in the wild. And we forget that they go to the store, that they eat at restaurants, that some of them have children, and some of those children go to a school, and then next thing you know, there's a wrestler who's a PTO parent or whatever it is. And I just tried to put myself in this guy's situation, thinking to myself, driving over to some random person's house, and then that random person is somebody who does something that I love. It's just fun. I think it's just fun. And I'm sorry that you never got to be managed by Ashley Massaro. I'm sure you would have won that match due to her tutelage. But I'll tell you what, if you ever wrestle a match, I'll be your manager. I do not promise that, but I feel it's the right thing to say to end this story. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. While you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.